thank you. I was just reminded that I could keep it short. Well, the lucky thing maybe is that I forgot my preparation, so I should keep it short because I only had the time to make some notes during the presentation. I'm very happy to be here to hear this excellent presentation by Calum. And I really see many connections between the work that we are doing at the Research Institute of the ChristenUnie, because I think relational thinking is also, maybe we use different words, but also very much at the core of what our view is. And also I find it very, very nice to see also some references to the famous Dutch Kuip and Nooit. So I see that the link has already been made. I did not see it before, okay. And publications from the Jubilee Center, but maybe I'm wrong. I really like, so let me say, I'm going to say some things that I like very much and two things that I want to discuss more in detail. I like very much that you describe the ideologies as absolutizing things that are originally good. Because I think that is really makes a strong point to also to see that things can also be different. That there are good intentions at the core. So that's what I really like, and also what I find really strong is how you describe the interconnection between the different ideologies, and that we can only understand them in relation to each other. So that's really also a strong point, and that they're also mutually reinforcing. 2 points for discussion, and they relate mostly to capitalism and statism. The first is about debt. I see a lot of emphasis in the understanding of capitalism in relation to debt, and that's also what I see a lot in other publications from the Jubilee Center. And what I sometimes miss in these discussion is kind of nuance about debt. I think that money, the essence of money, that it's a social relation between a creditor and a debtor. In that sense, money has always this side of debt in it. So maybe the question should not be whether something is debt financed or equity financed, although I find that a very important question, but also what kind of activities are financed by debt. Are it productive activities, for example to SMEs, small companies that are going to invest, that create employment, that create future growth, or is it just debt that is used, for example, to buy for a mortgage, or for consumer purposes, or for just speculative purposes? So maybe we should draw a rough distinction between productive and non-productive activities, and not to say that debt financing as such is problematic, but to focus on the kind of debt. So that's my first point. My second point relates also both to capitalism and statism, and I call it corporatism. I want to talk about corporatism, because isn't it the case that corporatism is much more problematic than statism? And I mean with corporatism is the influence of big multinational companies on the public sphere, on public life. Isn't it the case that our current system is more aptly described as corporatism instead of capitalism? Because capitalism, well, at least ideally, presupposes that there are a lot of companies that compete with each other, and then there's also a kind of separation between the public and the economic sphere. At least the economic and the state, there is a certain separation. So for example, you see it in the banking sector, you see it in the food sector, you see it in many sectors, that there are 2 or 3 giant corporations that dominate the market, and also have huge lobby power in relation to the government. So should that also not be more central in the analysis of, I think, in the relation between statism and capitalism? And do we not need a strong state to counter the effect of those corporations in the public sphere. So, for example, if you want to have strong sustainability legislation, you really need to counteract the lobbying power of vested interests in corporations. And of course, I do recognize that big state can create distance and dependence. I do recognize that, but I miss this element. So these are my 2 points for discussion. Thank you.